There's a story of a young artist who dreamed of greatness. Every night, he lay awake imagining the masterpieces that would make him famous. In his mind, he could see the colors, the strokes, the galleries filled with people marveling at his work. He told his friends about his vision, about the critics who would one day praise him, about the legacy he would leave behind. And yet, day after day, his canvas remained blank. He convinced himself that he was special, that he was destined, that the world simply hadn't noticed him yet. But the truth was, he had done nothing. And as the years passed, his dream, once burning bright, faded into a silent regret, a story never written, a talent never realized. This is how ego works. It feeds on dreams but resists effort. It convinces us that thinking is the same as doing, that wanting is the same as achieving, that we are already great simply because we desire to be. And in doing so, it robs us of the very things we seek to build. Ego does not push us forward, it holds us back. It does not give us strength, it blinds us to our weaknesses. It does not inspire discipline, it whispers that we don't need it. It is a silent force, lurking in the shadows of our ambition, in the intoxication of our success, in the despair of our failures. It is the enemy we do not see until it has already won. Ryan Holiday's Ego is the Enemy is not a book about confidence. It is a book about the force that sabotages success before it begins, corrupts it once it is achieved, and makes it unbearable when it is lost. It is a force that has ruined empires, destroyed geniuses, and turned the brightest minds into cautionary tales. And the worst part, it feels like a friend. It feels like pride. It feels like destiny. But it is neither. It is a voice that says, you deserve this without effort. A voice that says, you are different, the rules don't apply to you. A voice that says, you are too important to fail. But history does not remember those who listened to that voice. It remembers those who silenced it. There are 3 phases in life where ego lurks: aspiration, success, and failure. And in each, it wears a different mask. In aspiration, ego makes us believe that talking about our goals is the same as working toward them. It makes us obsessed with how we appear, rather than what we create. It tells us that we deserve recognition before we've done anything worth recognizing. But the world does not reward potential, it rewards action. Genghis Khan did not become the greatest conqueror in history by believing he was destined for greatness. He learned. He adapted. He fought. He did not speak of his future empire, he built it. John Boyd, one of the most brilliant yet unknown military strategists, could have chased titles, promotions, fame. Instead, he dedicated himself to mastering his craft, refusing to let ego lure him into seeking credit before his work was done. The lesson is simple. Those who truly achieve do not talk about it. They do it. The moment we start believing that ambition is enough, that being admired for our dreams is the same as achieving them, we have already lost. Then comes success, and here, ego is more dangerous than ever. It tells us that our victories are proof that we are different, that we are special, that we are untouchable. It turns achievement into arrogance. It makes us forget what brought us here in the first place: discipline, patience, humility. It whispers that we no longer need to learn, no longer need to adapt, that we have already arrived. But history is littered with the wreckage of those who believed this lie. Howard Hughes was a genius, a visionary, a man who once ruled industries. But he became so consumed by his own legend, so convinced of his own invincibility, that he isolated himself in paranoia, unable to see reality. His empire crumbled, not because of external forces, but because ego had made him blind. Success is not a destination. It is a test. And the moment we believe that we have nothing left to prove, we have already begun to fall. True greatness is not in reaching the top, it is in staying there. And those who do are not the ones who believe they are special. They are the ones who keep learning, who keep improving, who understand that success is not a throne but a battlefield. And then there is failure. Ego makes failure unbearable. It convinces us that we are victims, that the world is against us, that we are ruined. It makes us lash out, blame others, sink into despair. Some refuse to accept their mistakes. Others let their failures define them, turning setbacks into permanent wounds. But those who rise again know the truth. Failure is not the enemy. Ego is. Katharine Graham inherited the Washington Post in crisis. She was doubted, underestimated, faced relentless challenges. She could have let ego make her defensive, reckless, bitter. Instead, she learned. She adapted. She took responsibility. She ignored the noise, the doubts, the temptations of ego, and quietly turned the Washington Post into one of the most powerful forces in journalism. The difference between those who are destroyed by failure and those who overcome it is simple. One listens to ego, the other to reality. Ego is not confidence. Confidence is earned. Ego is assumed. Confidence is silent. Ego is loud. Confidence learns. Ego assumes. Confidence builds. Ego destroys. And so, the question is not whether ego exists within us. It does. It always will. The question is whether we will recognize it, whether we will resist its voice. Because in the battle for greatness, only one can win. Will it be you or your ego? If you liked this summary, consider subscribing to our channel. Your support gives us the motivation to keep creating more engaging content.